Hey everyone, you're watching Sportstar. Today we're going to be recapping the Indian Super League game between NorthEast United FC and Chennaiyin FC, which ended 2-1 in the latter's favour. This was a very interesting game with one of the biggest takeaways being that all three goal scorers were Indians. There is so much to talk about in this game. The first kind of talking point definitely has to be the situations in which both these teams were coming into this game. Chennaiyin FC was coming off a very lucky win, if I may say so, against Hyderabad. They managed a 1-0 victory over that side. And that goal also felt like it was just a stroke of luck. So there was a lot to prove for them. NorthEast United was coming off a heavy defeat and a goalless draw. So they would have been very keen to get 3 points on the board. The start of the game was very, very intense. Both teams were going at it against each other. They were trying to cut down on the kind of chances the other side was creating. NorthEast United had one of the earliest chances, but where that sort of ended was an injury for their player Federico Gallego, who's now out with a knee injury. He was tackled down to the ground when he was creating an opportunity for Matthias Correa, and we saw him being stretchered off the field, and he was sobbing in the dugout, given that he knows he's going to be having to sit out for a while. Gallego is quite injury prone. He's had injuries to his shin and his hamstring previously and has missed games for NorthEast United, and he will definitely hope that this is not one of those instances, or at least not for too long, given how their campaign is going so far. Nevertheless, the sort of intensity that NorthEast then packed came down a bit, as Khalid Jamil pointed out at the post-match press conference. With Gallego sitting out, there was no one to really bring the midfield and the strikers together. No one was there to create those chances to get them to combine properly enough to have a competitive go at the Chennai backline, and that really hurt NorthEast United, thereby allowing Chennaiyin FC also to go and register its first goal in the 41st minute, courtesy Lallianzuala Chhangte. Chhangte managed to turn a deflection of a NorthEast player, which came from a free kick that came Chennaiyin FC's way, and struck that into the goal from the edge of the box. It was a brilliant goal, and it was well enough for Chennaiyin FC to take a 1-0 lead in the first half. But NorthEast United responded almost immediately with BP Sohair managing to convert a throw ball that came from Mashoor Sharif. And it sort of seemed like this was a blip in goalkeeping by Vishal Khair, because I don't think he read the activity on the field well enough. He reacted to it a little too late, and he came right up front trying to stop BP Sohair from scoring, but then there was nothing he could do, given that the throw ball was very nicely headed into the goal. It flew past Vishal Khair, so there was not much he could do there. So that was a brilliant equalizer. BP Sohair has been very, very interesting for NorthEast United, and he was a little quiet in the last game, so to see him sort of coming into the mix of things was very exciting. And at that stage of the game, at least I really thought he would create a lot more chances and give NorthEast United a competitive go in this game. But where this ended up going was in the second half, there was a lot of intensity, but it ended up being a little more active defensively, if I can say so. Both teams were trying to just block opportunities for the other, but Anirudh Thapa still managed to get in, and he managed to convert a nice little pass from Rahim Ali, and his first touch itself managed to evade the two defenders that he was having to negotiate. He found the gap between the two, and he managed to slot this in with the goalkeeper was unable to do anything about the ball that was going through. It was a brilliant goal from the skipper. Thapa, it's been nice to see how he's sort of easing into the responsibilities of that captain's armband, and to see him on the score sheet was even better. Chennai managed to stay sharp between the ears and make sure that they finished the game with that 2-1 scoreline. This was a very interesting game for Chennai, because they will certainly take a lot of positives from the fact that Chhangte is managing to find the back of the net. All I could think of when I saw Chhangte scoring that goal was John Gregory. I'm actually going to take a chance and tag him in this video. Let's see if he tells us what he made of Chhangte's performance in this game. Chhangte himself pointed this out in the post-match presser, saying that the Indians do have the mettle, and the fact that there are experienced foreigners to look to for advice and to combine on the field can only help Indian strikers find the back of the net a little more often. Bosko Bandovic, the Chennaiyin FC coach, of course, was very grounded in his post-match thoughts. He kept emphasizing on the fact that he had just 2 months to prepare this team. So even though this was a great performance and it means so much for the boys, given how confidently the team went about and finished the game 2-1, they have to remember that the team is still a work in progress. If this is how impressive a team can be if it's work in progress, I am very excited to see where this side goes through the course of the tournament. So let's hope there are better wins to come for Chennaiyin FC. NorthEast United has a lot of work to do. They were without Dejan Brown as well, so that really showed in terms of a lack of opportunities and a lack of finishing of whatever few chances were being managed. Let's hope Gallego comes back soon. Khalid Jamil has a lot of work on his hands in terms of getting this team to really have a bite in its attack. We'll only have to wait and watch to see what happens with NorthEast United when they take to the field next. Well, that was the review for this game, but we have a very interesting encounter coming up next with Odisha FC taking on a hurting SC East Bengal. SC East Bengal is coming into this game after a proper drubbing in the hands of ATK Mohan Bagan in the Kolkata derby, while Odisha is coming off the back of a 3-1 win, a very confident 3-1 win at that, over Bengaluru FC. So to really see how these teams go ahead and what this means for their campaigns is going to be quite an interesting game to watch. We will be covering this match live, so do make sure you head over to www.sportstar.thehindu.com to follow the game live and to follow interviews, news, stats and much more from the ISL. You can also keep up with all the live updates from the game and from the Indian Super League at large on our social media channels. You can find us on @SportstarWeb. If you'd like updates delivered directly to your inbox, you can subscribe to us on Telegram for the same. Until our next game and our next review, thanks for watching. Take care.